It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today for what's going to be episode number 25 of our Behind the Score series. I am glad that y'all are here, and I'm really pumped because we are starting our second year of these episodes. I really enjoy doing these episodes, and we're getting this one started off right with some music from Emerson, Lake, and Palmer with their song Take a Pebble. Many people, y'all, have been asking for me to review this particular song, and it's been on the list for quite a while, and I'm pleased to finally get to it today. It is from their self-titled debut album, released in November of 1970. It is the second and longest track on this album. It's written by Greg Lake and arranged by the band. As I was reading in, I found some really fascinating information about just how Keith and Greg came to meet. Apparently, so in 1969, Keith was playing with the Nice, Greg was playing in King Crimson, and in December of that year, King Crimson was finishing up their tour at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. And Robert Fripp from King Crimson wanted to, after this tour culminated, to continue on with a rotating cast of musicians, while Greg wanted to continue to be in a long-lasting band. And so at this 4-night run at the Fillmore, the Chambers Brothers were headlining, and they were being supported by both the Nice and King Crimson. And so also at this time, Keith was at an impasse with the Nice and was ready to move on. And so Keith and Greg met while while in San Francisco during this time, and they jived together. And as Keith wanted to continue exploring the trio format, they formed a duo and then wanted to add a drummer, and they found Carl Palmer later on in 1970, who came on recommendation from well-known manager and producer Robert Stigwood. And so by the late summer of 1970, these three guys, who are known as musicians but not as a group, are recording. And then by November, they've got their first album out, and it's ELP, and it's on from there. It's pretty amazing, if you ask me. So Take a Pebble, this song will be kind of a showcase for some of Greg's songwriting, singing, and guitar playing. And it looks like Keith is just playing piano on this one. There are no electronic keyboards listed in what he plays in this. I found a quote from November of 1970 in a publication called Melody Maker, in which Greg said this about Take a Pebble. He says, "I wrote this after Christmas with Keith when there were just the two of us and Carl had not yet joined us. It started off as a folk guitar thing. Then Keith added piano and I used a bass. The solos weren't there to start with, but Keith wrote a solo and I decided to put in a guitar solo as well. It was a solo that I had written about 5 years earlier and had never had a chance to use before." So it sounds like we're going to get some multi-sectional stuff in here. I also read that there's some improvisation happening in this one as well. So let's take a look. It's going to be a lot of fun, my friends. We've got Keith Emerson on the piano. Greg Lake is on vocals. He's on the bass, and he's also on the acoustic guitar. And Carl Palmer is on the drums and percussion. I have my score here, and we're just going to follow along with the studio recording that is synced to this recording, and I'll stop it and we'll dive into some of what's happening in the music as we feel led. So let's hit it, y'all. Take a Pebble from Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Here we go. That's interesting. So that's being played twice. Hang on a second. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna stop it already. Looks like 6 flats. That is a G flat major 9 chord that's being arpeggiated, and it's going up to an A flat major 9 chord. Just some direct planing there. This looks interesting. It sounds like he may be putting his hand down for that particular notes to be sounded, and then kind of reaching into the piano and like strumming the strings with the pick. They're definitely not being hammered, like pressed down like we're accustomed to hearing a piano being played. It's a really interesting approach to this. Continuing on. It's a neat sound. Oh, and they drop a third for the bass. Cool. Here's what I mean by that. This is same chords. It's the same chords up through here. This G flat major 9 chord to this A flat major 9 chord, but he takes that, so the G flat is the root of that chord, and a third below it is the E flat, right? So he makes this from the root into a third, and then and moves everything on up. So now this becomes an extended E flat chord, E flat minor chord. And then up to an F minor chord with some extensions here, instead of just the basic chords that we started with. Really cool. And then this looks like some fun stuff in through here.
Just take a pebble and cast it to the sea, then watch the ripples.
His voice is so awesome.
That unfold into me. My face builds so gently
fifths
into your eyes, disturbing the water.
Overdub of the vocal. Flat 6, minor 5 to a major, hang on a second, a major 1 chord with a suspended 4th in there. That's interesting. E flat, we land on E flat, and it makes sense. Flat 6 to minor 5/7, and then we've got this E flat major chord, and that G natural is in the chord, and he's got this A flat down here hanging out against it, and it's voiced as a 7th. So it's not crunchy like a minor second might be, and it looks like that's going to repeat. So the second time, not exactly as notated.
Shreds of our memories are lying on your grass.
Again, I'm going to stop it. So, sorry. So second time through, not playing all of this stuff. So I think just ad-lib or improving over the changes for subsequent verses. Let's take a look at the voicings of these chords. E flat here in the bass, and he's got the added note here, the F, against this G flat. So again, so this time we've got that what was a major 7th a couple of bars ago is now being voiced right up against itself with the added 2nd of that chord, this F up against the G flat. And then when he moves up by step, it's the similar type of voicing, with the G being added right underneath that A flat there. Really cool.
Wounded words of laughter are graveyards of the past.
From F minor we go to A flat. Yeah. Before I said fifths, and so now I'm glad I got back to it. He's not playing the same thing, but I remember one of my first things that I think I reacted to by Emerson, Lake and Palmer was Tarkus, and of course that one's built in fourths all over the place. Well, these voicings are in fifths, and that's quite interesting. I will also say that all of these add 2 chords, or these sus 2 chords, makes sense with an approach to stacking fifths, because if we take a note and then we add a fifth and we add another fifth, we get a ninth, or if we decrease the octave and added seconds. So these added seconds, it makes sense for him to have a voicing like that in the piano part.
In your fields, letters of your memories are not real.
Woo! That's leading to F. Whoa, okay. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Before it changes, I want to show you this. So this looks like it's being set up as an ostinato or repeating passage. And he's just got a left-hand little motive in the piano. So he's got root position F. We've moved to F minor. That's what it looks like here. This is a fun little bit of movement and motivic movement in through here as well. This E flat chord with the fourth that resolves in to a third above that E flat. We're moving down by a third to a C chord. So we go from an E flat major chord with that fun little dissonance resolving in to the same voicing over a C, and that becomes 5 in this new key. Right? They do the same thing, the same voicings. That's really cool. Over the A flat, which is going to become the new 3 chord of where we're headed. And then we end up on, that's an interesting thing here. We've got E flats way up in the top with an E natural in the bass there. Well, look at him go. But as we then get to that leading tone in that E is going to move us to F, and so does that C, kind of sets up as soul of the new key. And we get an outline of an F minor 7 chord. However, check out the added notes that are in this. I don't think it's by accident. We've got an F and a C and an F. You'll notice that the A flat's way up here. So down here it's not in the chord, but these extra notes, that G makes sense as a voicing of a fifth that we've talked about already. It also is another one of these added seconds that's going to resolve into the octave duplication. The added fourth, we've already seen a lot of these. That's like a step above that A flat, and then this G is again, just like the G way up here, it's a step above that F. So he's got F as a static harmony that's going on in that ostinato, but he's also giving you the G minor over the top of it, and it mimics the root motion that they've been doing a lot with a chord and then moving to a chord a second away and then back. Here in this ostinato, we get both of the chords at the same time, so I'll be curious to see where he goes with this. Off we go. Whoa! 5 chord. Okay. Yeah, same. F, G's. Cool. There's the F. Cool. Okay. Hello. And that one, he's landed on it here, he's landed on it here, he's landed on it a third time. He's given you 3 arrival points at the end of this, and he's trying to prove F, and he gets you there with flat 7, flat 6, flat 7, 1. And again, check out the voicing here. Big time voicing, just real sturdy voicing in the left hand, and then here is that added fourth that's happening again. That's really interesting. Against an octave, almost an octave away from the A natural, which makes that a major chord. It's a major chord with an added fourth. And it's what gives it a little bit of flair. It's like, is it really resolved or is it not really resolved? We shall see. On we go. Moves to D. Moving by thirds. That was really cool. I have to look at that again. Hang on. Hang on. What happened there? We move, going back a little bit. So we set up this E that's going to move us into a key with 2 sharps, which is most normally D major. So we're going from F into D. And so we've got this nice D popping up there. There's your added second, right? Happening. Down by third to B flat. There's your second again. There's your second or ninth of that chord. So his voicings are consistent throughout this. So D down to B flat is down by a third, down by another third to G, down by another third to E flat. Descending third progression, and I think that E flat's going to resolve into a D by the time I get done with it. It resolves into D, but D minor. He's making those F naturals. Even though the key signature there is 2 sharps, I have a feeling the 2 sharps are going to matter more to what's happening here and maybe next. Because if it was just that, then I would have put it with just 1 flat instead of 2 sharps. Fifths, right? Boom, boom, boom. Very soft. Harmonics. Wow. This is beautiful. It's very soft. Oh, and you got the minor third on the way down. That's pretty cool. And then right back to the major third. So, mi, re, do, do. So, mi, re, do, do. Cool. Oh, I just noticed this. This must be at the bottom of the page. So there is what is tune the 6th string down a whole step to D, tune the 3rd string up a whole step to A. So he's retuning, or he's telling you what the tuning needs to be for the guitar, and he's playing this, it looks like, in D, open D tuning. Makes sense. And we get claps on 2 and 4. Little full guitar solo right in the middle of this. Applause. Walking up. Just kind of using deep pentatonic there, right? And again, these harmonics. Okay. So now they're continuing in F. Similar pattern that he was playing before. using kind of a Mixolydian scale for F over the top of it with A naturals and E flats, changing the scale formation. That's interesting. Take a look at this. We've been doing some in our classes, our art of composition classes. We've been talking about modes and a little bit and how to use them. So here he's got a static harmonic ostinato that's happening, and he was playing just a second ago in just using a scale pattern that was using one, not only the B flat that's in the key signature, but adding an E flat. And when we're kind of basing that in F, as we're in F but we're using two flats, you can think of that as F Mixolydian instead of trying to fit it into either B flat major or G minor, because we actually are in F, but the scale that he's using is a little bit different from a standard major or minor scale. The addition of that lowered seventh gives it this modal quality. And so he's playing over the top of this in kind of Mixolydian mode on that first page. We turn the page, we keep the E flats, but now check this out. We're adding A flats, and then way up here the D flats even, right? And so we're coming along and almost like we're in F minor all of a sudden, right? For that little bit, and then that turns around and this becomes an E natural and an A natural, and it's almost like F major down here. So it's a way that you can improvise melodically over a static harmony and change the modality of the melody that's being done as you would like. And the way that he's able to accomplish this with really great effectiveness, I think, is because of the openness and the ambiguity of the ostinato pattern itself. It's establishing the F, but it also gives you that open fifth, that G up here, and so it kind of implies both an F open chord and a G sort of minor chord, and that allows you to play in a lot of different little spots. Really, really cool. Off we go. Ooh. Little flat two in there. It's fun with scales. Starring Keith Emerson. Still over that. And then by the end of this, it's like F major, and now they're improvising ad lib for a while. I think it's really fun when these pieces intentionally leave in sections for open improvisation. You never know what's going to happen. It also keeps it fresh when you're performing the same song night after night after night, right? It's also amazing to me just how together their ensemble sound is, even from the very get-go. It's remarkable. Hello. There's your seconds happening. expecting any air drumming during a behind the score, but there you go. The drum set sounds really great too. If I get lost for what they're doing, I can normally draw some inferences from where the what the bass player is doing. So he's keeping that anchor for us. Okay, and moving on. Woo. It's a lovely way to play over one chord for a while. F minor. And it ends with this added note, with this G. Way, way up there. That's really interesting. Just like the beginning. And then down into E flat minor to reset, I think, because there was a third verse, right? There was a third verse that we never got to. Coming down this, C, the left hand, the down stem, C, F, C, F, C, F, C, F. Meanwhile, we've got the notes from F minor, so we're just kind of going down from what would be that 2 chord, that minor 2 chord, and then it goes right back into that low E flat minor with the same sort of voicing that we had at the beginning. Fun. Timpani. Check it out. That's a surprise. Tuned kettle drums.
With sadness on your shoulders, like a worn-out overcoat. In pockets,
Love it.
creased and tattered, hang the rags of your hopes. The daybreak is your midnight. The colors have all died, disturbing the waters.
Over here. Same chord that they end up on. Moving to the end. Keith Stoll. That's exciting. That's exciting. I have to go back and hear that ending. Oh, where do I go first, though? Let's go about here.
The colors have all died, disturbing the waters.
So you've got... There it is. Flat 6, flat... Minor 5. Listen to the bass. I gotta hear it again. I gotta hear it a third time. Hang on. Hang on. Great ending. Keith stole one of my tricks. So watch this. It goes way over here. There it is. Flat 6, minor 5 to the 1 chord, to this E flat, the same one with the G natural up here and the A flat against it, and then that resolves in. They do the same thing. Do it again. Flat 6, minor 5, and then they're going now, instead of going back to 1, it's way down the scale. So we've got flat 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to flat 2 down here by the time that we hear it. still adding that extra note. I don't like the added vocal at the end, or the harmony on the vocal at the end. I think it should have been left with just the single voice as it's written. But take a look at this chord. F flat, yes, F flat, not E natural. F flat is flat 2 to this key. We want to have an F moving down to an E flat, so that's why they would write it as an F flat instead. But here's the thing. So flat 2 can be used in a variety of ways. Here at the Cadence, I think it's a stand-in for the 4 chord. It's an alternate way to use a plagal cadence. And the reason why I think that is because the root note of the key, E flat, is the highest sounding pitch up here. And it becomes the major 7th of that chord. When we have a plagal cadence, that amen cadence where 4 goes to 1, it's really a cadence that prolongs tonic, that prolongs the tonic note. We don't have a leading tone that's going to resolve to it. It's a different type of arrival point. And so this one is an altered version of that. We get the E flat that we would get from a normal A flat chord if we were going 4 to 1, right? We get the C that we would normally get from an A flat chord from 4 to 1. We even get the G if it was a 7th, right? But so all of this is similar to being a 4 chord. We're just harmonizing it over this lowered 2nd scale degree, and we end up making a major 7th between the F flat and the E flat up there, and then it can just resolve into that E flat there at the bottom. Wow. That was a lovely, lovely piece. I need to listen to the whole thing through, I think, but I'm going to save that for when I'm not talking to you anymore. I will enjoy that on my own time. The last thing I want to talk about, though, with this is the meaning of the words and maybe what the song is about and what we can take from it. It's a brilliant piece. It really is, and I'm just surprised by just how good these guys were out of the gate. It's almost like, I mean, The Nice is a great band from what I've heard, and King Crimson is King Crimson. So these guys were tested musicians, time-tested and really polished musicians before they ever met each other, and so they were primed to just kind of take off. When I read through the lyrics, it's a little tricky, I think, to figure out what the meaning might be, but overall, I think it's a song about consequences. Even something as small as a pebble, a little bitty rock, when introduced into the ongoing sort of engine of our daily lives, it can produce these distinct and long-lasting ripples that can affect our journey and our experiences. And we can, I think, look back on these influential pebbles and remember the ripples in the words that were spoken, the photographs that were taken, and in the letters that were written. If we look back to verse 2, shreds of our memories are lying on your grass, wounded words of laughter are graveyards of the past. Photographs are gray and torn, scattered in your fields, letters of your memories are not real. So we remember all of these spoken words and these photographs and the letters that we may have written, and we come to in the 3rd verse where our own regrets on our own sleeves, even in the creases where it's difficult for others to see. Wear sadness on your shoulders like a worn-out overcoat, in pockets creased and tattered hang the rags of your hopes. The way it ends here tells me that it's kind of a sad song. The daybreak is your midnight, the colors have all died, disturbing the waters of our lives. The colors have all died. to me, that means that his hopes and his optimism have subsided, maybe, and that the sadness that remains can itself become a very large pebble or quite a stone, right? That can continue to disturb the waters of our lives, or what our expectations are for how our lives are going to continue. It's really profound, right? It's a message that even something that's very small can change the trajectory of our lives in profound ways. And just take the meeting of Keith and Greg in San Francisco, right? The right pebble at the right time changed their lives, and aren't we all the better for it? Really, really great song. Happy to get to this one, and I'm happy to, or I'm really pleased that all of you have asked for this one and held me to it. So take a pebble from ELP, one of the all-time great bands, and this one is up there among some of my favorites that I have heard from them. Really, really fun song. Thanks, y'all, for hanging out with me today. We will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.